Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. Today it's an early March day here in Southwest Florida and the weather's starting to get warm and my orchids are just exploding. They're putting out lots of new blooms, lots of new growth. It really is a great time to be here. What I wanted to share, and it's a good windy day as well, as you can tell. What I wanted to do is share 3 different orchids with you today that are blooming. I've got a lot more coming. I'm really excited about a few other ones that were just not quite open today. I'd like to wait for them to be in a little bit more of a full bloom before I share those with you. But today I have these 2 and then another one that's mounted on my tree, so I can't bring it to me here. But let's start with this one right here. This is my first bloom on Dick Smith cultivar Paradise. And this is, I think you can tell right here because of the pink tag in the pot, that is a gift from the plant propagator Junior. So she gifted me Dick Smith, I checked three years ago, and it was a small plant, and it was doing okay, but not really well. But it was pretty small, and it took 3 years to get to this point where it bloomed, and it's blooming really well now. This is a nice flared, colorful Cattleya. The fragrance on it is again a classical Cattleya sweet fragrance, but the color and the flaring is striking in this plant. Again, the flower's it's probably a medium-sized Cattleya, but it's got some really nice yellow in the petals and the throat, and then the flaring in the petals is the purple along with the purple coloration in the lip. Nice shaped, presents itself really well. The flowers are spread nicely. So this is a great plant. Right now there are 2 flower spikes with open flowers and 2 flowers on each spike, so there are 4 open flowers. But in addition to that, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 sheaths, additional sheaths, 2 of them. The flowers in those will probably be open in about another maybe month, 3 to 4 weeks. Those will be open. And then I've got 2 smaller sheaths, and those are, if there are flowers in there, they're really small. I think there might be flowers in one of them, so that's probably a couple of months away. So this is going to put on a heck of a show. There's been a lot of growth this past year, and so what happens with all this growth, you got the pseudobulbs going crazy, blooms in there. So this, it's nice when you get the whole bloom at one time. And I should say, this is hanging in my orchid pergola. It's nice when you get all the blooms at one time, but in some cases I like to see the blooms, spread out a little bit. I'm probably gonna try to take this in for my show, which is I think 2 weeks away. I hope the flowers last long enough. I hope the other flowers are coming out by that time, but we'll see. It may be right in between. But this is just a great plant, growing like crazy. It's in a 6-inch pot, but there's still lots of room in the pot, so I'm probably going to let it go a little bit longer before I repot it, and then I'll divide it. This thing is just doing really well. It likes where it is, and it finally caught on. So this is Dick Smith Paradise. Over here is my second Cattleya Lueddemanniana, and this I got 3 years ago from Palmer Orchids in Bradenton, and Tristan helped me. He didn't help me. He picked out this plant for me. It was blooming at the time, and he grabbed it and said, "This is the nicest bloom. You should take this." And it really does have some nice venation in the lip on this flower. I have this mounted on the fence, so it's a little bit of a different location, and it's mounted on the fence, and it seems to be a little bit of wind protected in that location. And but the petals on this are really big, and in this wind they're kind of flopping around everywhere, which kind of makes me a little nervous, but that's okay. It bloomed for me once more, but it was in a location that was just too hot. It didn't. The flowers previously, they didn't do well. It was getting too much sun, and I had to transfer it to transfer the whole. Transfer it means pick this up and hang it somewhere else. So I put it on a little bit of a different location with a little bit more shading, and it seems to be doing very well in that location. There is another leaf, another pseudobulb with another sheath on it, and there are flowers down in there that probably, I would guess, are a few months away from coming out. This is a nice Cattleya Lueddemanniana. I'm thinking I might cross my awarded Cattleya Lueddemanniana propagator on to this plant, but we'll see. I got to be a little careful as far as what I cross my plants onto, and I have to wait to see if I'm going to bring this into a meeting or a show or anything like that. So, and again, I got this I think it was about 2.5, 3 years ago, and it's been doing well after I moved it to its current location. So that's what I do, and that's what everyone should be doing, is moving the plants around till they find the right location, trying different potting mixes until the right one for that plant is found, and it's just a question of trying things. The problem with orchids is that they respond so slowly to everything, to the environment, to the pot, to the medium, to everything like that, that it takes a little while to figure out what's going on. But these things, I think, I finally have them in the locations that they're doing well in. And speaking of locations where plants are doing well, I've shared with you in the past that I'm not really good at growing Vandas unless I strap them on my tree. And what I'm going to do is get behind the camera and show you a Vanda Selena. And this is a Vanda from RF Orchids. It was registered in 2021. I'm not sure how many people have this orchid. I think they make it available pretty openly. I haven't really seen it at shows, even though the plant propagator Junior, my daughter, has this, and it's bloomed for her in the Midwest US. Okay, and we're back. So this is Vanda Selena, and it is doing so well. I should say that Vanda Selena is a hybrid that was registered, a Vanda that was registered in 2021, I think, so 3 years ago. It was registered by RF Orchids, and this Vanda was a gift from Mike Coronado of RF Orchids. So Mike, thanks. Your Vanda is doing really well. But what I wanted to show you on this is how well this plant is doing, and I want to share with you what the root system looks like, but also take a look at the base of the plant and the overall health of the plant. So this is the base of the plant. This is attached to a palm tree, and this is a Christmas palm tree in the backyard. It gets irrigated 3 days a week. And look at the base of this thing. I don't know if you can tell it's just because there's so much down here. But there's, I think, at least 3, maybe more keikis that are down in here. But what I want to do, we'll take a look at the flowers in a second, but what I want to do first is take a look at the root system on this plant. First thing is to take a look at the roots that are just hanging out of the plant that's right here. So this is about 4 feet above the ground, and what you can see is that the plants go pretty much all the way to at least the one of them goes all the way to the ground. The other ones are hanging. So there's 4 feet of roots there. But when you take a look at the roots that are attached to the tree right here, you can get an idea of how extensive the root system is. And there is another Vanda. This is another Vanda seedling from RF Orchids right here. But if you take a look, and the roots are intermingled of the Vanda Selena with my other Vanda here. But if you take a look, you can see that the roots on this thing, especially if you look at the back of the tree, they go all the way down and then into the soil. So that's 4 feet of roots, but you can get an idea of how extensive the system is. These are all Vanda Selena roots on the back side of the tree here on the left. But let's follow these roots up. This is all the Vanda Selena that we look at here. Follow them up and up and up and up, and those are probably, I think that's probably 8 feet above the ground. So there's 8 feet of roots on this tree. So let's take a look. What I want to show you is the other side of the tree as we go around and take a look over here. And I don't know how much of this we'll be able to see because of the sun, but again, what you can see is just a massive root system. Let's follow this thing down. And again, this is mostly the Vanda Selena roots as you go down the tree here, but just pretty extensive. I should also show you, this is my one of my Pseudopodium punctatums that's in between these all 3 trees. There's a few more in there, but anyway, back to the roots on the Vanda Selena. Let's follow them up and follow them up. And we go and we keep on going, and now we're at the roots that disappear way, and that's about 10 feet in the air. So there's 10-foot long worth of roots that are coming from this plant, and that's, again, one of the reasons that this plant is doing, I think, so well. It's just attached. And you know, I was at a meeting the other day. I was presenting, and they were wondering how the Vandas can grow like this, whereas when you see them normally, they're in baskets and the roots are just hanging, and they're hanging because I guess in nature they attach to the tree. But look at this. This is pretty extensive, and I can go over to the next tree over, and you can tell there's another Vanda right there, and this is the root system from that Vanda attached to this tree. And it's the same thing over and over again. Okay, so that's why this thing is doing so well, is because of this extensive root system. It you know, it absorbs the waters. When I fertilize, I fertilize, and I make sure to get to wet all of the roots all the way up and down the tree. And that, I think, is one of the reasons that this plant is doing so well. The flowers on this thing, they're small. I just checked a little while ago. They're not very fragrant, but they're a nice color. It's got some really nice, you know, really nice marking on them. So I like it. But it's, I still struggle with a lot of my Vandas getting them to grow, except for this one. You know, I guess once they catch and once they adjust to a certain space, they'll do well. A lot of the other Vandas that I have are seedlings and aren't doing well. I have had some rebloom, but this one is just doing really well. And I think, again, it's because of the location and the extensive root system that are finally channeling everything back down to the main plant right here that's not that big. The plant itself is probably about 1.5 feet tall, but the root system, you know, goes up 10 feet into the tree. So anyway, really nice plant that seems to be doing well. All right, that's all I have for today. I just wanted to show you my Dick Smith, another Cattleya Lueddemanniana, and this Vanda Selena. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you could click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's all I have for today. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.